sometimes he has no choice but to do something pretty drastic.
Yeah.
Because he knows if it's not a closed door, they're going to keep walking through it.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll find the crack.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to let go now.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
Yes, exactly.
The Holy Spirit resides in you. That is the same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead. We do not work for God's love, but we work from God's love. The Lord is given, the Lord is taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. If your Bible was illegal, would you value it more? Dang. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of For the One Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Merlino, and today I am really excited to have someone who's kind of become a friend over the years to me join me on this couch. She is a licensed cosmetologist. She owns her own business. She is a curly hair queen herself, a mother, just so many things. And I'm really excited to talk to Chelsea. So everyone, welcome Chelsea to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm really excited. This is a really cute, cozy space.
Thank you.
I'm eager to see what we talk about today.
Me too. I feel like this has been in the works for like a little bit. Like it kind of started as like a joke, like last year, like you should come on the pod.
Yeah.
And you were like, okay. And we were like, okay.
It was a loosely tossed idea.
Yes.
Now it's in fruition.
And now it's happening.
I love it.
Have you been on a podcast before?
No. You're my first.
Time?
Yeah.
I'm so honored.
Yeah.
I'm so
hopefully not my last, right?
Yeah, no. We'll definitely have to have you back. I already know. This is going to be great. So, so I don't even remember. I met you because a friend of mine was going to you for curly haircuts.
Yes.
And this was right around the time I had to be like, 23 or something? Like 22, 23. That was right around the time I actually started to realize, oh, Nicole, you have curly hair and like that requires different things of you.
Yes. The health of your hair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like go to someone who knows what they're doing with that.
I remember us talking about that.
Yeah, because, well, it's such a, and I've never talked about this on the podcast because, like, why would it come up? But, like, it was, like, emotional.
Yes.
Growing up, and my hair didn't look like the other girls. And I don't, both of my parents are white. I'm in, like, an all-white school, basically. Like, and it's just like, well, why is Nicole's hair always so crazy and frizzy and
fuzzy and big? Yeah,
and I straighten it, but it doesn't look the same as everyone else's. And it's like, It was so frustrating.
Yes.
And
you also feel
a
little bit isolated.
Yeah.
I think as youth, you know what I mean? Being that you have this very distinguishable difference compared to other kids, you know, it's very hard, which is why it's an emotional process because trusting your hair with somebody who maybe doesn't know what they're doing or doesn't know how to relate to the emotional attachment part is scary.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I remember like crying almost every time we left getting my haircut. My mom was like, it's fine. Like, what's a bit like, she just like was not understanding. I'm like, well, they cut too much off or like, it doesn't look like
what I wanted.
And like, they're cutting it like dry, which like, can you imagine cutting my hair dry? Chelsea, you're probably cringing on the inside. Your whole inside was just like,
It depends on the person. Yeah. Dry curly cuts are definitely appropriate. It just depends on the curls. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But yes, I would not cut your curly hair dry.
It was just a rough situation happening.
Very
all the way
fuzzy
around.
after you left.
Yeah.
No, I know. I used to tell people I looked like a squirrel tail. Like I was slicked back and puffy in the back of my head because there wasn't really a lot of education. There wasn't a lot of know-how or knowledge. Yeah. And unfortunately, our parents knew what they knew. Yeah. And when you grew up, like flat ironing and straightening and pressing your hair with an ironing board, right? Like your kid with curly, crazy hair, you had to figure out how to tame it.
Right.
Tame the mane, you know?
Yep.
Now we don't have to. Now we can let it be.
Yes.
You know? Which is great.
And I love that there's more conversation. It's very on social media, especially like there's so much conversation about curly hair and like people doing tutorials like, hey, this is how I do my routine. Like if you want to try this, and it's just like, gosh, I wish I would have had that.
I agree. And it's also important too to decipher like what's actually relevant and true to fact on social media and what's just product pushing or like the difference of like promoting a brand or an individual's social media platform.
Right.
So I feel like there's a distinguishable difference, but then it's hard to tell for the layperson who's just watching this content be mass fed, into your algorithm to know the difference, which is where we come in.
Yes. Professionals.
Right?
Yes.
Where we can help to kind of wean that out and give you good guidance as to, oh, this person is a licensed professional and they are giving you good sound advice, and please don't diffuse your hair with a coriander like this TikTok video showed you how to do, because people will do that.
That's crazy.
Like, I always tell people, like, you strain pasta with that. Why would you want to put your hair in it? You know what I mean? Like,
well, they're like, this is my hair strainer, and this is my pasta strainer.
Right. Like, to each their own. Try it if you want to, but I just feel like some things at some point you have to know the difference. And when you have no knowledge and nobody around you has knowledge, it's really only been in the industry wise, like something that's been coming out over the last 10 years or so. Curly hair product, curly hair education, just even empowering curly haired women in what we see in beauty standards and social media and advertisements and movies, right? That wave has kind of come within the last 10 to 20 years, and it's really made a major shift, which I think allows for people that platform space and that area to kind of take up space and showcase like, hey, this is what curly hair is really about. Yeah. What you thought you knew may not be the case. This is a little bit more of what the reality is of what you're working with. And each person is so distinguishably different. Yeah. That's where I think it's really important to have somebody who understands that when you're dealing with actually getting your hair done or learning how to manage your own, because we're not all cookie cutter. No. What works for you isn't going to work for me and vice versa. Yeah. Right? We have to know our own.
How many patterns? Like, because I know there's like the 2A, 2B.
Yes, the number system.
Yeah, there's like all these like wave and like curl like.
So if I can put my opinion out there on the number system, do it. I'm not knocking it, right? I'm not. I'm really not. It allows people to understand what they have, right? Yes. So I'm not mad that there's a system in place, but it's actually created for products. It's not really created for you to identify and distinguish your hair. Okay. One head of hair can have multiple curl patterns on it. And that's where I think some people get stuck on, oh, I'm a 4C or I'm a 2A. And it's like, well, you might be a 2A in the front of your face, and then you might be, like a 3A in the back, or you might be a textured, 2C up top, and you know what I mean, and have more of an S wave on the sides. So it's really important to like not get stuck on the numbers system. Gotcha. It was also kind of created later on in the curly wave. So that was not how it originally was launched. It was mainly product. So big business in helping people to identify their curl pattern so you can sell your specific product to those people. Gotcha. So that was kind of like where that became relevant. Okay. Yes.
So you're like, it can be helpful, but don't like die on that hill.
100%. Yes. And don't nail yourself to one specific, like, oh, this is me. Gotcha. Because truly the texture of your hair and the shape of it are what make your curl pattern. Right? Okay. Yeah. So you could be a soft 2C and you could be a textured 2C and have two separate needs. Gotcha. Right? Yeah. So it's just, that's where I'm not necessarily a huge fan, and I don't live in that world of prescribing people their numbers. Right. I like to see, this is what kind of curl pattern you have, this is what your hair needs are, and this is how we move forward with that care. Yes. Because I think that's important.
Yes. No, for sure. And I just wish that there was, and I think we're getting there, but more education, because even you talking about it being in like the commercial film, just like more in the media space, because I remember being on shoots as talent where like, they don't know what to do with my hair. Right. And they're just like trying to like put it in a bun, try to like contain it because it's too big and it's too wild. Wild. Yeah. And they're just like, let's just tuck it, let's just pin it, let's just
smooth it out. Yeah. Brush it.
And then even like getting my hair done for a friend's wedding last year, like even after I like already emailed the coordinator and like had her talk to like, hey, are you good to deal with curly hair? Because like I understand if you're not, I just need to know. She's like, yeah. I get there. Chelsea, not only did she burn my ear really bad. No. Really bad, burned the back of my ear. But she literally burned my ear because without even asking, without saying anything to me, she just takes the curling iron and just starts doing it. And I knew once she did the first pass, I was like, well, my hair's like ruined now. She has to just,
Oh,
natural curled, did my hair.
Yes.
All I wanted was an updo. That's all I wanted. And I thought she can use my natural
100%
curls
she can. Yes,
and just
she can.
updo it.
Yeah.
I was not expecting heat or anything.
Oh, you weren't even probably prepped for that.
No, I had product in my hair.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I
we're
almost,
cooking.
I almost jumped out the window. I was like,
yeah, no. No.
I'm like, we need to do better because I was like, to not even ask, I'm just like, I understand every other girl you do today, this is your process, but this is why I had this conversation prior because I didn't want you to treat me
the same. Because it's not.
No.
It's not.
No.
Yeah.
And I was like the only one there getting my hair done with curly hair. So this is why I'm like, let me try to preemptively not have this happen. And it still happened.
Yep. And see, and that's where like a lot of people deal with the anxiety that you were talking about in the beginning or like the frustration, you know, and the fear is because when you have undereducated technicians performing a service on someone who has a very specific need, right? And I'm not going to say your hair is, it's not unruly. It's not unmanageable. It's not wild. It's not crazy. It's just that someone doesn't know how to handle what you have.
Yep.
And there's a difference. You know what I mean? So I hope to spread the knowledge of just like curly girl needs and benefits and ways to address the hair. That's something I'm extremely passionate about behind the chair and with my technicians in the salon, because I think that it's important for people who don't have curly hair to understand that there is this emotional attachment to that. And we don't want you putting heat in our hair when we've been heatless for however many years and we know that our curls are going to be damaged and never come back. And it's going to take us years to grow that back out. But you're not aware of that. You know what I mean? And it's not my job to have to tell you that about your own profession. It's your job. And I encourage every licensed cosmetologist out there to seek curly education. Even if you are never going to touch a curly head, you will do yourself so much benefit just to know what you need to know to be better at your craft. That I
told you were going to look in that camera. I knew it.
I had to just send that out there because it is so important. We are responsible for what we provide to people. And I'm sorry that you had that experience because it's unnecessary. It's really unnecessary. And it doesn't take much with a little bit of education to know how to handle curly hair. And I think it's sad that more people don't take the initiative because they're afraid. I think instead of looking at it from a standpoint of fear, it should be an exciting exploratory avenue for a way to reach more people and to put more clients in your chair and to connect to a wider community. You know, I am on the west side of Cleveland, right? And I'm one of maybe two others, 3 salons total on the west side that specifically advertise for curly hair. I'm probably one of the only ones that does custom curly cutting with the array of education that we have. I don't do just diva cuts. I don't do just Rizzo style. I don't do just Uidad. I take all those accumulated classes and that knowledge and I create something very specific for the individual, right? And that's what I try to teach to my team so that they can approach every curly hair as it should be, very unique, right? Like very customized to the person. That shouldn't be the case because anybody with straight hair can walk into any salon and typically find somebody who can address that. Now, the problem lies in our education. They only cover curly hair in maybe a day. Maybe a half of a class. Curly hair is literally the shape of the cuticle, the fact that it's textured. You only get one style of curly hair on your mannequin. I wish I would have thought about it. I would have brought it with me so you could see it. It's literally just this very over-permed kind of coil, tight curl, but not Afrocentric kink curl. But they put it on a colored mannequin and then they show you that and then you have to wash it, set it, and then they just teach you how to diffuse, which isn't even really properly, in my opinion, a proper diffuse, right? To get a true dry. It's more so just a lot of shrinking the curls up, and then that's it. You know, there's nothing more into curly hair that they do. They don't teach you how to cut for texture. They don't teach you how to think of the shrink, which I'm going to make a t-shirt one day that says that. I think it'd be the cutest thing ever.
I love it.
I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'll have some sort of curly person on there. You know what I mean? Because I tell my girls that all the time. I'm like, the number one thing we think of is we think of the shrink, right? Like when you're cutting curly hair, it's going to shrink. The second you get it wet, it's down the middle of your back. The second you dry it, it's above your shoulders. Where did those 16 inches go? They bent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're not a straight, it's not a straight plane. Right. So it's like you're cutting movement. You're cutting not a straight singular line, you're cutting around. Yeah. You know, so it's like it's a different way of looking at hair, but they don't give us the proper education to actually know how to address that within our licensure. So that's where people like me and other educators that go out and do curly education, they're setting the standard for what that looks like in the industry. We are providing that next generation coming out into the salons, coming out of their new licensings, right? We are providing them with their foundations for curly knowledge that we did not get when we introduced ourselves into the industry. You know, for me, it was almost 16 years ago, 15 years ago. So it's like, that's a major shift. And it's kind of cool to be on that part of the industry where I can say I started off in the fake it till you make it. The fake it till you make it era. Like, I'm so serious. You ask some of my more senior technicians in the salon, and we definitely can understand and relate to each other in that way of like, you hit the floor and you had to work with whatever you learned from that state board haircut that you knew in school, and you had to try to figure out how to make that picture from that book, put out, be on that client's head. And if you made a mistake, it was a live person, you made the mistake. You know what I mean? And you had to figure it out. You had to figure out how to fix it. If you didn't understand it, then you had to ask somebody, and then hopefully they knew how to do it. Because if not, then you were kind of doubly screwed in that regard. Right. So it was very much so like you fell multiple times trying to figure out how to be better at something that you didn't even really have a true pathway towards. Right? Without education in the salons and stuff like that, or the higher end salon spaces that offered that or did apprenticeship programs. Right. At that time, when I graduated from Aveda. The Aveda salons in the area did unpaid apprenticeships. Well, I was a single parent, so I had 2 kids.
Don't get me started on that.
Tell me how I'm supposed to support 2 boys, right, under the age of 3, and have an unpaid internship for 6 months. Make it make sense. Right. It just was an unrealistic expectation. So it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go work at a salon. So that's exactly what I did. You pick up S-Cuts at Great Clips or wherever you can get in to make some money, somebody pays you $12 and they give you a nickel for a tip, because it was like, I think it was like some ridiculous price point. It's like $12.95 or something like that for a haircut at Best Cuts, and they would leave you a nickel. Made you rethink that unpaid internship, right?
A penny for your problems. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
So it's a very different time. Now these younger girls, they don't have to worry about that. They get paid assistance programs, there's apprenticeship programs, there's tiered salon training. They're like, salons have elevated what that experience looks like, because so many of us have come out and tripped over ourselves trying to get or left the industry completely.
Yeah, because it was too much.
Exactly. Stop performing their craft, altogether. It was very different. Very, very different. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to be on both sides of that coin, to see the hard part of getting there, and then to be able to see the industry shift. Yeah. And
now you're part of the solution.
Yeah. Bringing knowledge back in, and especially with our curly services and being able to do things for women who are in the same position as yourself, Yeah. I think it's important.
So that's why I wanted to ask you, like, so how did you decide, like, this is what I want to get into?
Doing hair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I actually didn't want to do hair. Oh, if I'm being honest.
Truth comes out.
Yes. I thought I was going to do massage.
Okay.
But I was undereducated on my end, and I didn't realize that massage was a medical license, right? You have to become a licensed massotherapist. Okay. And it requires a different level of schooling, right? Gotcha. So when I had gone and started looking at facilities, I went to the Aveda Institute because I had heard it was like a great reputation, high quality. I wanted to have high quality. I wanted some good knowledge, right? So I went and I walked through, and I told her what I wanted to do. I wanted to own a spa. I said, I want to have a spa. I want to open up a massage space for pregnant women. I said, because when I was pregnant with my boys, I was sensitive to smell. I just wanted to have my feet rubbed. I wanted very specific, massage. And it was very difficult to find people that were comfortable with doing that, or a space where you weren't nauseated because the acetone was so, pungent, because you just wanted to get your feet rubbed, getting a pedicure, right? You know what I mean? Like, just like things like that. Like, so that was my initial goal. And so I'm telling her all these things, and she's like, oh, well, let me show you around. And she's like, our cosmetology program is only a couple months longer and a few $1,000s more. Like, if you'd like, you should do that. And then you'll be well-rounded for your spa. You'll be able to do everything. I said, what? I can do everything. I was like, okay, sure. I was like, let's try that out. Right. And so then I signed up for the cosmetology program, and I fell in love with doing hair. And I was like, I talk too much. I can't do massage. I was like, I would be the worst massage therapist because you would not be able to relax. I don't think I could be quiet for 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that would be so hard for me, you know? If I'm not reading a book, it's like I need to be talking. Yeah. Or doing something, you know? I'd put myself to sleep. You come in for a massage, you're paying for it. I'm half laid up on your back. It would not be a soothing experience. I did, however, work at a salon where she wanted me to do massages, and it was it's a funny story. It was not a good experience. So I definitely knew after that I was not cut out for massage. Yeah. So I set the stage pretty early on for where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do in cosmetology school.
Yeah. No, you had like a vision. You were like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to.
Yeah. I just didn't know the hair was going to be the avenue that took me there.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and so that was the cool thing too, because when I started coming to you, you were in one of those, I don't even know what they call those. The suites. Yeah.
Yeah. Like a loft style.
Yeah. So like there's all these little mini like businesses. You were in there. And then I remember you texting me like, hey, when you come in for your next appointment, I moved. I have my own building now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so now you have your own space.
Yeah.
So
I have a brick and mortar
talk
space.
about like what that has been like.
Oh, man.
What are you, is it 2 years in now since you've bought them?
We're in our third year.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're in our third year now in the space. But the business itself has been open for 6.
Gotcha.
So in our 6th year of business, because technically I consider it from the moment of conception, right? Like when it started in the loft suite style.
Because that was still your business, your name, your brand.
Yeah. Yes. I just basically considered it like I hired staff and moved into a bigger facility.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. So essentially, I left that salon as an employee. So I used to work there. Before I actually came into the space and rented it.
Gotcha.
So when I left there is when I set up my business, the Point Salon, and at the Lofts.
Gotcha.
And then I worked there for 3 years. And then the old owners of that salon that I used to work at knew that I had always wanted to have my own salon. Because originally when they had hired me, I kind of told her that I wasn't going to take the job. I told her that I wasn't looking to be an employee in someone's salon because I didn't want to disrespect their business and leave to open my own and make them feel like I had just come there to do that. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Wow.
If I can actually backtrack a bit, there's a lot that goes into this from the beginning. Yeah. I was actually working at a salon called Beauty Brands in Crocker Park.
Okay.
That's where this whole journey really took shape and started, right? Okay. I became an educator and I was traveling and I was able to educate across the country in different states that they had salons in. And I knew by going to all these different places that I really wanted to own my own space. I wanted to teach a team. I wanted to change the industry. I wanted to get rid of the fake it till you make it style of environment. And I wanted there to be this camaraderie between, upper and seniored staff and newer staff, and just have this whole family dynamic, within your unit of people, even management, right? I'd worked in so many toxic managerial spaces where you just felt like your creativity was being pushed into a box. And for creative beings, that's an extremely stressful experience. And it does not create a creative space for you to thrive, right? And so many of us had to navigate those, right, earlier on. And so as I was teaching and training in all these nuanced places and meeting all these really cool people and exploring and expanding, and I started talking to one of my friends. Her name is Jennifer. She actually is a huge catalyst in me even getting to this point, because she's always kind of been like a little cheerleader in my corner, right? We met a year after I got licensed and started working at my first spa, right? And she's known me for majority of my career. She actually came to my grand opening of the building that we have now. And she is my product distributor, right? So we've maintained a solid relationship. And she introduced me to the product lines that I carried back when I was at Beauty Brands. Gotcha. And I was like, listen, this is what I want to do. I want to build a space. I want to open it up. I want it to feel like this. My vision, if you can, with me for a second, was to have this beautiful brick building. I wanted it to be 2 stories. I wanted to have this massive door in the front. And it was going to be this open concept kind of salon floor, leading back to a nail area. There was going to be a spa space to the right. And then the upstairs was going to be like the management office, owner office. And then there was going to be this second floor terrace that was just like an open outside kind of, I don't know, loft space that led off of a conference room where we could host education and have events for like bridal parties and birthday parties and like, you know, all the things, right? It was going to be very earthy toned and it was going to have green everywhere and wood and cement. It was just going to be this very cool, like retro New York style-y, artsy, eclectic space, right? So I'm pitching this to her and she's like, I'm on board. You know, this sounds amazing. And I was like, okay, well, how are we going to get money? You know, what are we going to do, right? Like how do I make this happen?
The hold up for all of us.
So again, still working, still traveling, still educating. I'm doing, weddings on the side. I'm doing New York Fashion Week with another stylist who invited me to come out and be a runner with them. And I'm having all these really cool experiences in my career. And then I talked to, I believe it's, if I can, Wessex or Sussex architecture. And I start planning this actual building, right? And I'm excited. And I find a plot of land, right, that I'm looking at, and it's really expensive. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to get money just to get this plot of land, let alone get a loan to build this building? How does this even happen? How do people do this, you know? So I start doing my due diligence, and I come up with this plan to have this program where people can invest and dive in, and we can go crazy, you know? So I'm getting these steps started, right? And I'm figuring out my product line, I'm figuring out my services, I'm figuring out how to get money and funds. And all of a sudden, Beauty Brands files bankruptcy and they announce that they are closing our location. This was a week before Christmas of 2018. Yeah. And I was like, wow, would have been nice to know back in November on Black Friday when I was buying Christmas presents for my kids, right? Maybe I would have scaled back a little bit and set some funds aside, you know, but they do that on purpose. A lot of big corporate companies do that on purpose for tax reasons. They do it because of the beginning of the year, and usually some of their tax seasons end like around the end of the year too. So anyhow, understanding how that works now, tax-wise, I'm like, all right, hey, I can't really be mad at you. You made your business decision, right? But at the same time, as a, you know, young family, we had just had my daughter, you know, in 2015. So, like, she was growing up and, you know, we had our house, we had our 2 boys, you know, our dog, like all these things, you know, we were getting ready. And then my husband at the same time had just started qualifying for his UPS driving position, which isn't a guaranteed position. You have 90 days to qualify. So we don't even know. He just left his full-time job to take a leap of faith on this very part-time position that was, you know, maybe going to become a full-time if he qualified. So now it was like, pressure's on, buddy. Like, you have to qualify because I just lost my job. So that's why I had turned down the position when they reached out to me online, and she said she had been following me for a long time and she felt compelled to reach out and she wanted me to come and join her team. At that point, I was like, I don't want to be in a salon team if I'm planning on doing my own thing. But then when I came and met with her in person, it was like coming home. It felt so overwhelmingly comfortable in that space. I felt comfortable talking with them. You know, I felt good. I enjoyed the ambiance, the setup, you know, the people that were there were great. We've even maintained relationships, you know. So it's just, it was different than any other salon environment that I had ever encountered. And I was like, dang, maybe I got to come here, you know? And so I did. And then I ended up bringing some of my friends from the salon with me that I felt like would really mesh well with ownership and, you know, kind of fit that vibe and that envisioned space, you know, so to speak. And a lot of it was very faith-based decisions too. So it was kind of like, you know, you just knew, it just felt right. It felt like this is where you're supposed to be. And it was where I was supposed to be. But I wasn't meant to be there for forever. right? I picked up tools and tips and tricks and things that she taught me on how to manage inventory. And like we would have conversations about just like pricing structures and different nuances. So when the opportunity presented itself to leave and get the loft, I was ready.
Yeah.
I was scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I was ready.
Yeah.
And so I did, and then I opened up the Point Salon. And then she reached out to me when she was ready to retire and said, hey, we would like to present the opportunity to you first, which I appreciated the call and the thought process behind, to then come in and take over in their building. Space, but under my entity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now going back real quick to that moment in December of 2018 where you're like, I'm starting to map stuff out with an architect. I'm looking at a plot of land. This is my vision. This is what I want the space to look like. Crap. I just lost my job. They went bankrupt.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I guess I'll go have this meeting with this person that reached out to me. I don't know. I'll see what it's about. In that time period, looking back, now that's 2026, what do you think happened? Like, do you think that was like a saving grace? Like, would Chelsea in 2018 have been able and prepared to buy that plot of land, build that business?
Not at all. Not at all. He knew I wasn't ready for that step.
Yeah.
I was forcing that. Yeah. Right? Like I was running on my own treadmill and I was going fast. I was beep, 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 right? Like I was hiking that. Yeah, I was hiking that speed all the way up. No incline though, because that's hard. I wanted the smooth road. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then he had to pull the plug. He was like, yeah, no, this is not the time for that. And every time that something shifted, I always felt like, oh man, like not now again, like not now. But then every time I'd come through something, it would be like, okay, you were right. I understand why I needed to kind of like sit back and just be mindful because I didn't know how to do inventory. I didn't know how to price out my services. I didn't understand what high-end salon would feel like in a small capacity, right? Like I knew big spa spaces, very toxic, unhealthy spa spaces. Right. I knew mismanagement and, the politics of corporate salon spas, right? Where you're kind of like micromanaged or not managed at all because management is coming in and out consistently. Right. I learned all these little nuances. And I think being in that salon space where it was very much so familial, I learned how to establish my salon culture and the ways that I wanted to do things with my personality, and my presence and my desire to educate and teach. Yeah. And I was able to create what I have now by being on my own and understanding how to best serve in all those facets. I've been hourly, I've been commission, and I've done suite rental. I've been I've been contracted. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've done all the things. Yeah. So it's like anyone who steps into the industry with a plan and a goal, an end goal, you kind of have to ride the ride to get there. Yeah. But if you're always working towards it, I feel like it'll always come. And he knew I was working towards my end goal and what I've always wanted to experience. Yeah. And I knew it in the beginning before I even had a license, the whole reason I was in the building was to open up a spa. Yeah. And now I have a spa. It's not just for pregnant people, it's for everybody, right? Yeah, it's for everybody. Yeah. But in hindsight, it would have been really cool to have been part of making like a pregnancy only facility. Yeah. I'm for all those moms out there, it's a different experience, but now I get to service everyone. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. It's very, very full circle, it's very full circle. And it's weird because in the moment you don't feel that. No.
You're frustrated.
Yeah, and you're scared. Yeah. You're scared. My first instinct is like my family. Yeah. Right? Like how am I going to support my husband who may or may not qualify through this position, even though you have every faith that they're going to do well, there's still that 50-50 chance, right? That this it doesn't happen because you never know. They might not get enough packages. He might not hit his timing, right? Or the weather might be bad. Like there's so many factors with that could hinder his own success. And then you've got little kids. I've got my 3 children. So then it's like, how do you move forward? How do you continue to go through something when you don't know what the end of that tunnel looks like? And you do it on blind faith and sheer will to never see the bottom of your pit, right? Yeah. Like you're never going to hit rock bottom. You're going to stay where you are and you're going to work your way back up and you'll figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
I always tell people I'm like a pit bull. Like if I set my mind to something and I latch on, there's a small likelihood that I'll let go. I very rarely will let go. And you'll see it come to fruition. Like I usually will find a way to make it happen. Might not be in my timeline.
That part.
Right?
That part.
But it usually does eventually happen.
Yeah.
It usually does.
Yeah. Well, and I'm just like that verse that's like, his ways are higher than your ways and his thoughts higher than your thoughts. It's like, you may not have the New York eclectic 2-story building.
Big red door.
Yeah, with a big red door. But it's like, but you still got there. Yeah. It maybe physically looks different. Yes. And the timing looked different. But also I'm like, and see, this is why I love hearing people's journeys like this, because it's like encouraging my faith of like how precious you are to him, that he was like, oh honey, no, not right now. Not like this.
Slow down, Chelsea.
But like he saved you in a way from like, I mean, God knows what would have happened. Like you could have had like bankruptcy. You could have
right.
That could have been like bad.
Right.
And he is like, no.
Right.
Not right now. Not like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you didn't have to do that.
Right.
But you did.
Right. Like I could have fell hard.
On the treadmill.
Hard.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And thinking about what I just said, like, and my family would have come down with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it would have been an all in at that point. If I was doing what I had envisioned in my mind, it would have been everything.
Right.
You know? So the things we have today, right? Like we built a house in 2024. That wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Right? We were able to do that after our first home because my husband and I came together in our careers and we were able to make things work. And then we had this amazing opportunity present itself at the same time. So it's just like, you know, that these journey roads that we're on would not have manifested the way that they have had I made that decision at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. How gracious.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Forced. It was a forced decision.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I also landed on my feet in a place that felt very much so comforting.
Yeah.
And
that's what I love though, is because he's not just gonna like leave you
hanging. Yeah.
He'll be like, no, I'll get you where you need to go, because he already
and
knew.
I almost ruined that too by telling them no.
Yep.
I told you, I like to move sometimes a little too quickly.
Yeah.
I like to move a little too quickly. So, yeah.
Well, and to your point, because I think those of us that have this like determination and this very strong will, he made us like that, by the way.
Yes.
That's why I'm always like, you made me like this.
Yes, exactly.
And you
It's really your fault.
Right. I'm like, look at yourself, okay? But then with those of us like that, sometimes he has no choice but to do something pretty drastic.
Yeah.
Because he knows if it's not a closed door, they're going to keep walking through it.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll find the crack.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to let go now.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
Yes, exactly. And I also think too that like at that time of my life, I was also maybe battling with some of my faith stability too. So it felt good to lean into that and to kind of trust the process a little bit more, even just in connecting my faith with my profession, which I'd never really done. I'd never really looked at what I did behind the chair as my ministry, right? And I have a very, my faith is very singular, but I had my salon loft anointed when I opened it. Before I even had any clients come in. Yeah. I had asked for it to be prayed over and anointed in the space. And one of the things that I was very fearful of was the fact that I had maxed out every one of my credit cards, right? I mean, you have to buy thousands of dollars worth of supplies, equipment, color, product, like all these things, right? And I didn't have any of that saved. Yeah. It was just an opening, the last opening in this space that was available. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared. Like, am I going to be able to make this money? Are people going to follow me? Like, am I really going to be able to do this? And as a 10-year-old stylist at the time, I thought, is 10 years really enough time? Like, should I have been doing this longer? Just all this like doubt. But then at the same time, you're kind of excited because you're like, oh, what's going to happen? We'll see, right? We'll see. We'll just put our best foot forward and we'll move forward, like blind faith. Yeah. We're going to make it work one way or the other. Yeah. And sure enough, I had the space prayed over. And one of the things I'll never forget is that he says, anyone who walks through this doorway be touched, right? By his hand and the gifts that you possess. and allow for financial stability over this space. Yes. And I paid off all those credit cards in 3 months.
Come on, somebody. See, now this is where I'm about to start running aisles.
Yeah, like that's exactly how it felt. And I was so floored. Like I was floored. I couldn't even believe that was even a possibility, right? I had not little faith, but I had little faith in myself that wasn't going to be doable. Yeah. I wasn't going to be able to make that happen. Yeah. For the first time in my, I might cry, in my adult career life, I took my family on a vacation.
Yes.
Yeah. Like it sounds so small.
No, it's not though. It
wasn't a possibility before. Yeah. Working under someone else and making hourly or making, the lesser a dollar amount of commission, right? I was only making like 40%, I think, or something like that. And I had been doing hair for 10 years, so I had worked my way in the other salon to making almost 61% commissions. I was getting paid $100 and something an hour to go and train and educate, right? Like, so I went from like making money to setting it aside to being comfortable to like, starting at the bottom, reworking myself, and then trying to see, am I going to be okay?
Is it even going to go?
Yeah, like, am I going to be able to pick myself back up? Yeah. And then to be able to take my family on their very first vacation, like, as a family and pay for it all without having to be worried. Like, that just felt so freeing because that was something that I'd always dreamt of being able to do and never thought that I'd be able to do. Ever, So when I'm pushing my daughter out of the way on the boat in California and we're looking at these dolphins, literally my husband like panicked. He's like, Chelsea, like sit down. I'm crying because in my mind, I'm envisioning my little like young Chelsea, right? Yeah. Watching this play out on TV, wishing that one day she'd get to see it. And here I am living it with my children, like that just felt like such a surreal moment. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed my daughter out of the way to see the dolphins, but you got
excited.
I was eager. She was fine. By the way, she was fine. Like we were all safe. Nobody was harmed in the push. It was more so like an eager movement. Yeah. She fell. Yeah. And so it just kind of like reiterates to you, like you never know where you're going because the plan is not laid out for you to know, right? But if you feel it and it speaks to you, it's not just speaking to you because you've manifested that yourself. Yeah. You have a purpose in that. So sometimes you do need to walk into that unknown and follow that because that will lead you to the fulfilling purpose of what it is that you're supposed to be doing or who you're supposed to be coming in contact with or where you're supposed to end up. Yeah. I think being afraid of those little tugs that he puts in your life is where you set yourself up to be stuck. Yeah.
That's where you have to become dependent and reliant because to your story and your point, you're like, Chelsea cannot do this in Chelsea's own strength. Right. In Chelsea's own financial predicament.
Right. Oh, yeah. 100%.
That's one of those moments where you go, if you don't move, this is not happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I always say, like, if it's meant to be, let it be. Yeah. Like, if, it's what it is, it's like your will be done, right? Yes. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if it's not meant to happen one way or the other, then let that be known. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Give me the know-how so I can stop beating down this door that's never going to open, that's not meant to open for me. Right. It's not my door to open. Right. So let me move on. Yeah. And sometimes I think you just need that guidance, that little gentle reminder of like, that one's not for you. Yeah. Keep going. Yeah. Keep going.
And that's okay.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's hard to accept though sometimes. Yeah. Because we have personal desires and wants, right? Like what you want personally and then whether or not that's what aligns with where you're supposed to be.
Man.
It's a conflict.
Yeah. That is where I live in my little like trap space because I'm like, I have these desires. Yes. Scripture's telling me that like my desires should come into alignment with your desires. How do I know? Like, it's like, I don't know. Like, I think this is good. I think this isn't evil or like manipulative or whatever. But I'm like, is this what you want? Right. I had that with this podcast. I'm like, do I do it? Do I not? Yeah. Hey. Yeah. No, literally. I'm like, hey.
Forward, backward. But what would you say? It took us a year for me to be on here. So it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yes.
I get it.
and I know you get this because of the things in your business you've had to do, but it's like, that's stepping out and like, I guess I don't fully know if this is the right thing. I think people always think that I'm going to get a little bit on a soapbox. I don't know how you feel about this. I'm fine. I don't like in the church Christian zeitgeist where people are always like, you're calling. And it's like I would say 98% of people don't know what their calling is. Like, can we just be so for real right now?
Yeah, I agree.
And so I feel like we're setting all of these people up for failure, especially I would say internal, like tumultuous failure in their own brain.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm riding that way with you.
Yeah. Because it's like you're calling, and it's like, again, to our point, it's like you can have this desire. You have the desire to open that 2-story brick eclectic, but that does not equal what his desire was.
And it's still manifested.
Yes.
So even though it wasn't my vision, I feel like the seed that was planted in me where that desire was even a desire to become, came from him.
Yes.
Right? Yes. And it didn't just come from him because it was like, oh, Chelsea has this idea. Oh, go have a spa.
Yeah.
I think it manifested itself in like youth, right? I love to talk, right? I love people, you know, I love connecting with all people. I like unique things. I'm creative, right? I was very much so into art. I hate math. Math sucks.
Amen.
I do math all the time, but on a scientific level, right? Like with color, that's about it. But so for me, I think as a child, I didn't realize that the gifts that I was given were going to propel me into the future that I have.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's where we do get tripped up in the whole terminology of like having a calling.
Yeah.
I like to say I want to feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not about my fulfillment necessarily, but I think that it should be mutual.
Yeah.
Right? Like you within my company and me within your company, that interaction should be a fulfillment.
Yeah.
I don't want you to leave feeling drained.
Yeah.
Or like I've taken something from you emotionally or spiritually, right? And I think that in and of itself is its own form of ministry.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Because if you are walking your faith walk, it should not need to be something that shrouds or overcrowds or shadows someone else's faith walk. But when they're side by side and when you're in alignment, right? Whatever your gifts are going to reach out to someone else. It could be in a moment of just pure conversation, right? Just something as simple as getting your hair washed and sharing an experience that you had, something sad or something painful or something exciting and joyous, and you just want to unload that. You don't know why you said it. I don't know why I just shared this with this random person, because my gift is making people feel comfortable to talk.
Yes.
And whatever it is that you need to share, I'm here for. I also do not judge. That is not my calling either.
Nope.
When you go there, you can be judged. I have no place for that.
You better preach that.
Yes, I have no place for that. That is not my purpose, right? Yeah. But what I can give you is the most genuine, authentic version of myself and what I'm able to provide. Yeah. I don't think that we have callings because when you give yourself a limit, you set yourself up for failure. And he does not call us to be limited.
That's good.
Right?
No. Yeah.
Like why if you don't reach that calling, then what? Now you're distraught and heavy. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, no. And it's like I think we put too much of our identity in that thing. I think that's the risk too. So then when and if the building doesn't come, the business doesn't take off,
my self-worth
happen,
falters.
Yes. So now I'm no longer just a daughter or a son. I am now questioning my stability within the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, I didn't do that. And that's what I was supposed to do.
Right.
And it's also like, who told you that?
Yeah, another person.
Yeah, or sometimes
or
Satan.
Did you?
I don't know.
Yeah, or did you make it up yourself?
Yeah, or did you come up with it? It's like, is that what you were supposed to do?
Yeah.
I always say, and I agree. I love the mutual fulfillment thing, because I think that's how I feel about this podcast. I feel like this podcast gives I pray that it gives a lot to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I also feel filled every time I'm in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it cycles back to you.
Yes. Yes. And so I think there is an element of that. Like, to your point, that's not the only reason you're doing it, but there should be something of that nature in the thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
But I always am like, man, I just pray I get up there and I hear, well done, good and faithful servant.
Right.
I try to put it in that perspective because I'm like, really nothing else at the end of the day matters.
Yeah. And you're not without fault, right? Like we're not going to not make a mistake tomorrow. We're going to make a mistake today. We're going to make a mistake, right?
Amen.
My daughter told a lie to a friend of hers the other day. I'm chuckling because the reason she told the lie was because she didn't want to, she just wanted to enjoy her night. She's 10. She didn't know how to tell her friend that she didn't want to talk on the phone at that time, that she just wanted to play and, be outside and stuff like that and enjoy her evening. And so I'm listening to her talk text on her tablet to her friend. And I'm like, she's telling her, my mom wanted to treat us to dinner tonight. And she says, and we just got back. And so I'm so sorry I couldn't call you earlier. And I'm thinking, I was at work. I am perplexed. I'm like, what is happening here?
I was
Yes. I was like, did you just throw me in?
Your lie?
Yeah. I was like, hold on a second.
I didn't consent to this.
Yes. So I let it happen.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't stop it. Yeah. Right. Because I needed to understand
what was happening.
What yeah. What's going on? What did you just? Who are you talking to? And why did you say that? And then when it came out, why? I used it as an opportunity to teach her, right? Yeah. To tell her that like lying is not a tool for convenience or a way to avoid uncomfortable conversations. I said, if she's your friend, you should be able to tell her, I would like to play outside today. And so I chose to put my tablet away. And you're allowed to do that. Yeah. You do not have to commit your time to someone else because they want you to commit your time to them. I was like, but you do owe it to your friends to be honest. And I told her, I said, you don't want to be a person that becomes so comfortable in these small lies that you then lose track of your lies and get caught up and become an untrustworthy person. Right? I said, because once you're labeled that, there's no taking it back. Yeah. Even if you've earned someone's trust, there's always a seed of doubt.
In the back.
It's a small seed if you've been able to repair it well. Yeah. But there will always be a seed of doubt. Yeah. And that's not how you carry yourself, That's not who you are as a person. And I used it as an opportunity to teach her that because I felt like, you know what? When you make a mistake, right? When you falter, when you fall off the rail a little bit, it's okay. Yeah. Because you have to understand that you're going to learn from that. Yeah. What is the lesson here? How do we move forward? Yeah. Now, if you continue to make that's a choice. Yeah. Right? Which there's a difference between making a mistake and then making a choice. Yeah. But that's how I teach my kids. So I feel like, we are no different than that. We're no different. We're not going to be perfect manifestations of what our gifts are all the time. Right? And in that, you have to learn how to just adapt to the change. If you have an error or an issue, on the podcast, what's the plan of action? Yeah. Well, we don't quit. We don't give up. You know what I mean? Yeah. We pivot. We figure out, oh, shoot, maybe I don't do it that way or make an adjustment. Today I had a faith-based conversation with a client, actually. I don't typically, not because I'm avoidant of talking about our faith or anything like that with clients, but because it's a public space, I like to kind of keep it very much so mindful and aware of other people and not impose anything on anyone. So I'm open to the conversation if a client brings it up. And it was great. It was a great chance to just kind of connect with another person and talk about our spiritual, journeys and how we feel about it and people who've influenced us, throughout our journeys. But if I wasn't, I wasn't open to any of that or, what I'm saying, or willing to kind of like share and connect with another person, those moments wouldn't happen. Right. The opportunity wouldn't happen. Yeah. And if it did and I needed to make corrections, I would. Yeah.
Well, and then it's just so funny because then I'm thinking of you. I know we just joked about it, but you being a masseuse and you're like, I can stay quiet for 9 minutes. But it's also like, what a waste of your gift.
Yeah. Right.
What
right.
That's
right. Right. I used to get in trouble all the time, preschool. And, they would like tape a note to your wrist I'd go home all the time with a piece of paper on my hand. You know, Chelsea's talking. All my report cards. My 5th grade teacher used to call me by my maiden name. She'd call me Payne. She'd be Payne. And she'd write it on there. Payne talks a lot, you know. She'd be, why can't you be like your brother? Because my older brother is very quiet. You know, he's a very quiet guy. Not anymore, but, you know, he was at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was just, that was my gift. But everyone made me feel like it was bad.
Isn't that funny that you get most attacked for the thing that he's like, this is actually the thing I put in you the most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my personality, I'm loud. I'm sure you've heard my laugh on here at least once. I'm sorry about that.
I love it.
But yeah, I talk loud, right? I've always been loud and I've always been very like intense. As I got older, I learned how to tone down my intensity to mirror and match someone else's comfort level. I didn't know how to do that, you know, in my youth, right? Yeah. So I was very like, in your face, like, hey, it's me, you know, like just very out there. I didn't hold back, right? To not necessarily always a good thing, right? Didn't always lead me down the right roads, but essentially I have never changed that about myself.
Good.
You know, that's always been who I am. I just now know how to kind of rein in for people who don't necessarily want that.
Yes. It's not changing, it's maturing in what makes you you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, developing that part of yourself that's never going to go away.
Right.
You know, but for a long time, I really did feel like it was something wrong with me. You know, like because the negative connotation around it, right? Oh, you talk too much. Oh, you're so talkative. Oh, this, oh, that. But now in a profession where it's like, I need to. Yeah. You know, I have to. Yeah. Or educating, teaching people, right? Even my assistants, you know, taking an opportunity during a haircut. I've had so many people over the last couple of weeks. I have 2 new assistants now. They say things like, oh, I didn't know that about a haircut. I feel like I'm learning so much too because I'm walking my staff through what we're doing. Yeah. And then the person in the chair who's getting the service is like, wow, I had no idea that this much went into that. And I'm like, like I'm not just back here chopping, you know what I mean?
Like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, you know, like and I do talk in sound effects. Oh, that's so funny, Q. I just realized that. I will do that all the time. I'll be like, boom, 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 boom. And I'll be like, you know, like that. And they're like, yeah. And and now my technicians, they're like, oh yeah, that's Chelsea, you know, like that's just what she does. Yeah. So it's just, it's different. It's very different being in this platform space, but I feel most comfortable in my skin and with the way that I am as a person and the people who receive me see me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm not being judged for anything outside of what I can do, even though my profession is 100% judgment the entire time somebody's sitting in the chair, right? From the minute somebody meets you to the minute you start cutting them or do their scalp massage with the shampoo bowl to when you style them and then before they leave, they are literally critiquing the entire experience. And so it's like the goal is to always make everyone feel like extremely comfortable. Yeah. You know, I always say a quality experience, but with a side of comfort on the, you know? Yeah. Because that's what I want. Yeah, I don't want it to be so bougie. You come in like, oh, it was all quality, but she had no personality.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, like dry, like.
No,
I
just, that's never going to be me.
No,
I love pretentious, it. You know, like,
yeah. No, I love it because I'm like, I know you're consistent. I like know what I'm going to get. I'm not like always like, well, one time she did really good, but one time she did really bad. Like, I don't know. Like, it's like, no, you're consistent. I come in, you give me a hug. We're like, we start chatting and like, like no time has passed. Yeah. Yeah.
My saying is, I don't want a haircut or a hair service to be a just. Yeah. You ever hear like, oh, I just got to get my hair cut. Ugh, I just like got to cover these grays. Yeah, like it's a chore you have to check off your list. I want people to be like, ooh, I got a hair appointment today. Okay. Like, yes, I can't wait to go see her. Or, oh my gosh, what time is it? I love when I get a text like, hey girl, do I have an appointment coming up? Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, you do on such a day. Oh, I thought so. You know, my hair is looking crazy. I can't wait to see you. And it's like, we're excited to see one another. Yes. Or I get the messages like, oh my God, girl, I got so many compliments on my hair and da-da-da-da. Like however they feel about themselves afterwards. People don't realize that even though a lot of people might look at it as a vanity, your hair speaks volumes for how you feel, right? If you're having a lazy day, she's up in a bun, right? She's messy, she's sloppy, she's flopping all over the place in the wind. Yeah, and she's
living her car on the way
she's living her best life. Yeah, hopefully not getting stuck, right? She's living her best life. Yeah. But she's lazy at that moment. She doesn't care. She doesn't need to. She's got things she's got to do. She's busy, right? She's going out. Oh, she's primped. She's been washed.
Yeah.
She's been product set.
Yep.
She's been dried.
Yep.
Maybe fried. I'm just kidding. She's been dried and she's been ready.
Hopefully
right?
not fried.
Right. No, 100%. Hopefully not. But she's ready to go. And she looks great.
Yeah.
And she's going to last you for the night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you have something that you need to tame down for, you know, she's pulled back. She's pinned up. She's out of the way, you know, whatever the case may be. But it's like people see that first.
Yeah.
You know, they see that. And then the rest of it follows.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why women struggle when they lose their hair during like chemo or illnesses or post-pregnancy. Yes, you know, it's a hard thing, and it's not vanity.
No.
It's 100% like self-identity. It's you looking at the mirror and seeing yourself and feeling different or unattractive or, you know, lackluster or losing confidence, right?
Yeah.
And for professional women or mothers who are trying to just get, in tune with themselves again, that's a huge blow.
Yeah.
You know, it's a huge blow to the mental, the self-esteem, and then on the flip side too, and tying with the podcast, on the spiritual, right? Because now you're having doubts about your own, you know, value and how you're being perceived and all that, and then you just feel down.
Yeah.
And then that doesn't help anybody, you know?
No.
So it's hard. And your hair is like one of those things that matters.
Yeah. People, my entire like adolescent, like to young adult life, identified me by my hair.
Oh, in what ways?
Well, like if like they're like, I don't know. I remember this would happen at like my old church a lot. They'd be like trying to tell someone, they're like, oh, go find Nicole. And they're like, may not know who I am. Like we haven't met. And they're like, oh, girl with like the long curly hair. Like they identify me by my hair because it was so distinguishable. Yeah. Like that girl, when you see her with that hair, that's who we're talking about. You know? And so to your point, it's like, that's how people are identifying me is by my hair. Right. So yeah, you want to talk about value being put on and then like
the way that it looks.
Yeah. And then days and times, which is more times than not, and not because of you and your gift in cutting it, but because I just am usually more lazy and I'm like, I don't want to deal with it and I don't want to diffuse it on my own. And I only like when Chelsea does it. And so I'm like, it's a big, I still resent it a lot of the time. Yeah. Even though people have complimented me more in my adult life with it than ever before. And everyone's like, I wish I had your hair. I'm like, no, you don't. Right. It's, I still have resentment towards it, which I shouldn't, because again, just like the internal gifts, this is how God made you. He made you talkative. He made you animated and loud and all the things and friendly and compassionate. It's like, he also made us outwardly. Yeah. You know, we have curly hair. Yeah. And it's for a reason I don't know right now. And maybe when I get up there, I'll know. But But I'm like, I think it's funny though, because you probably agree with this for you too. It kind of suits our personalities at the 100%. Same time. Yeah. Because I like the bigger the hair, the bigger the personality. Yes, I like my hair to be big. Yeah. Yes, I do. I really do. I apologize. I'm in braids today, but that's just because, we've had a lot going on lately. So I had to do convenience over style today. But again, to your point though, that's typically how I am anyhow. I will say the beginning of my week, I will probably spend the time in washing my hair and styling it. And then as the week goes on, it slowly becomes something that gets pulled up or half up or clipped half first and then pulled up and then solidly bunned. And then it's bunned for like a couple days, and then I'm like, okay, it's time to wash it. Can you tell we're like 2 days from hair wash day? Yeah. I'm right behind you. So trust me. Yeah. Sunday's my wash day. So I'm like, all right, tomorrow I'll probably do the same thing again and throw it in braids. But I think personally that a lot of why we associated our hair with these very resentful emotions and just difficult emotions is because of that developmental time in our lives, right? Yeah. It is 100% wrapped in that, right? And not even like because it was a way to make us feel bad about ourselves or like you might not have been teased about it or made fun of or anything. I mean, if you were, but I'm more so the arm, my arm hair. My arm hair is very dark. So like, you can't tell now, but I got the Italian in me. I was going to say I'm Puerto Rican and Italian. So I have very dark hair, you know what I mean? Naturally. And growing up, kids would say things like I was like a monkey because I had like vellus hair on my back. And so if I was wearing a bathing suit at the pool, I would hear that a lot. But the thing is,
you are taught to just like grin and bear it, right?
Yep.
Like grin and bear it, like it's okay. But it's not okay, and it still hurts, and it still affects you, right? I was 12 and I had a full-on mustache, right? Like a unibrow, like Frida Kahlo, like, you know what I mean? So like there were things that like kids that were around me didn't have. Right? Their hair was blonde, or it was straight and it was lighter, maybe not blonde, like light brown. And so they didn't have leg hair when I had leg hair. They didn't have dark, hairy arms, but they still had hair on their arms, but nobody was calling them a monkey for it, you know? So it was just it was very different, you know, very different at that time. I will say that if you focus on the beauty of where you are now with your hair, we can find gratitude in it.
Yes.
And one of the things that I try to tell my curly girls that are young is that people wish for our hair.
They do.
Because they can't have it.
Yeah.
Right? So you and I could go home right now, wash it, blow it out, flat iron it, and rock straight hair.
Yeah.
Because we can have that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And still have curly hair afterwards.
Yes.
Somebody else can go home with straight hair, try to curl it.
It doesn't hold.
And it doesn't hold. And it doesn't stay. And they can't wear it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where he not only made you have the gift of curly hair, but he made it so your curly hair could be versatile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now you have options and opportunity.
Yeah.
And somebody else is missing that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like even in another way, it's
to
like,
try to flip it.
Yes. Like, but when we were younger, it's so ingrained in you that your hair is unruly. It's wild. It's unkempt. You're messy. You look dirty. All these things because your hair's big. But that's not the case. You know, I have a picture of me when I was a kid in my pajamas, and my friends and I, we had taken the vacuum cleaner. And this is so stupid. And we had like used the vacuum cleaner to like brush my hair out, like the nozzle thingy. And when I tell you, my hair was like this big around. It was massive. It was just this giant thing. I have this
like
big
Diana
picture,
Ross.
and I'm just like, you know, like, and I'm so excited, and it's gigantic. I would have never, ever, 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 ever probably done that had they not said like what they said that day about how big my hair was.
Yeah.
And I felt like pressured into it almost.
Yeah.
You know? And I look at that picture now and I think to myself, like, it was such a fun sleepover and it was such a fun time. But in that moment, I still recall like some of the things that were said.
Yeah.
And why
you're the butt of the joke.
Why I felt compelled to make that decision.
Yeah.
And then that version of me at whatever age I was, between 12 or 13 or something like that. You know, I wish I could have told her, like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to go along with the punchline to make everyone else feel like, okay, you could have just been like, my hair is not a joke.
Yeah.
You know, just because it gets big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I laugh about it now, but at that time, I really didn't understand.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I don't think a lot of us did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Yeah. Because it was like literally one of the bullying points was, like, you have big hair, you have big ears, you have big teeth, like everything's
big.
just big.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah. And a big heart to go along with it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I think I did have a big heart because I didn't punch her out.
Yeah.
So, you know.
You're like, well, we didn't fight that day. So.
Yeah.
She lived to tell the tale.
To tell the tale. So, yeah. No, I also was not the me that a lot of people know now. Back then, I just took it. I was a punching bag. I was always the punchline.
Oh, see, I was the opposite. I was the person that was going to clap back real fast.
Oh, no. See, that's me now. I don't tolerate a lot now. But back then, I just like let people just whatever they wanted to say. I just let it happen. I didn't really fight back. I don't think I knew how. I just think I didn't even know how, or maybe I didn't even think it was like worth it.
Right.
But like you said, it still hurts. You
right.
still go home and think about it.
Right. Yeah.
Here I am at 28 talking about it.
And it still has a precedence.
Yeah.
It still has precedence.
Yeah.
I share my stories all the time. My sister took me to a salon to get my hair cut. My very first salon experience. The salon's no longer open. I was younger. And I had showed her a Jennifer Aniston layered haircut. You remember the Rachel, like from Friends, when she had that cute. Really choppy, layered, like shag style? Yeah. I loved it, right? Yeah. And my hair was longer, not crazy long, but longer, and obviously very curly. So my curls would shrink quite a bit. And I'll never forget, she like pulled the pieces in the front of my face down to about here, where Jennifer's like shortest layer was at the time, which is like, corner of her mouth. Right. And my hair's curly. So the length in the front of my face, right, even though it sits here wet, it was probably down here. Yeah. And short, it would easily come up here. Right now, my hair, I can pull it. It goes past my chin and it sits above my eyebrow. So if that tells you, like, that's my shrinkage right in the
Yeah.
front of my face.
Wow.
And she pulls this whole section down and she cuts it. And it just goes whoop, up here. Just lives all up here, all on the top of my hairline. Right in the front of my face. Very first thing. Right? And I left looking like a triangular poodle. My hair was probably like here. When I was there, it was, you know, easily a lot longer, like dry. It was like here, you know, it was long. And I had to like wear clips and like clip it back a lot of the time to, you know, try to make it look decent, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then you just spend all this time growing it out, traumatized by this experience. And then that doesn't make it any easier because then people make other comments about you and like say other things. So it's just, you know, you get told you look like a boy and just all that jazz. And it's just not, it was not fun.
No,
it was not fun. But now I try to save the youth, right?
Yes.
So to speak. I love it when moms bring their daughters in and they're young and they're within that age bracket or even younger. I have some that are like 2 years old, 3 years old, and I always compliment their hair. I always tell them, oh my God, your curls are beautiful. Oh, this is such a pretty curl pattern. Oh, you have gorgeous hair. Oh, you're so lucky that you have this curly hair. I know it's hard sometimes, you know, but it's okay. It's worth it. And I teach them about their hair. I teach them how to care for their hair, things that they could be doing differently because like I didn't know I needed to be using, you know, conditioner. Sometimes I didn't. I didn't know that I should be detangling my hair. I didn't know these things. And nobody around us and in the profession knew either, right? Because that education wasn't available to them. So really the tools that we had, that anyone had with curly hair was so limited. Right? Until, boom, fast forward to now. And now we have a slew of tools available to us. And these girls, in a way, have a little bit more of a one-up, right? Then at the same time, maybe another anxiety peak because they do have like access to social medias and things like that, which
that's a
whole nother topic we don't even have to dive into. But I do feel like there's a positive influence in having that because you are seeing girls with curly hair out there. You are seeing models represented in different ethnicities and different hairstyles and different textures and rocking their natural, right? Rocking braided styles, you know, rocking locks, like going the extra mile to showcase who they are as an individual instead of it being something that's put on them, right? Like, oh, here, we're going to flat iron your hair. You know, we're going to make everybody straight.
Yeah.
Well, that's a convenience thing. Do you know that over 75% of the world has texture or curl? It is actually the minority to have straight hair. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I find to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah. But what a shame that so much of it gets just flattened and just.
Yeah. And a lot of women will always do that, right?
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
But I want them to have the choice.
100%.
It's like if 100%. You have all the knowledge in front of you and you still want to straighten it.
Yeah.
Girl,
go for it.
Go for it.
Yeah. Go for it. Like I said, you have the option.
Yeah.
Right? You have the option. You do not have to commit.
When that feels like your only option and you still hate it and you hate doing it.
Yeah. Ugh. Now you have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. And it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. People should have the ability to choose what their comfort level is with their hairstyle. And I think, too, some of it is like, you know, wearing protective styles or having the opportunity to kind of like venture out, right? Or like I said before, like have the option to do, right? Every once in a while I have clients come in like, oh, can we blow dry it? Can we flat iron it? It hasn't been done in so long. And it's like, okay, you know, this is, you're going to a wedding and you want to look different and look a little snazzy, you know?
Yeah.
My husband always tells me he loves my curly hair. You know, he's always like, oh, I like it curly. You know, I like it big, I like it curly. Yeah. And I love it when my clients come in and they say, yeah, my husband loves my curly hair. Like, he thinks it's so cute. Like, he met me and I was wearing it straight and now he, you know, he likes it. And it's like, yeah, 100%. I remember that. I look at pictures of myself and I had like shaved on the side, a bang. It was like straight. It was like a full, like a half Karen cut, right? Like I was like rocking this very spiky. Oh yeah. I had a purple bangs. Oh. It was very retro. It was a time. Very retro.
Time was had.
Yeah. Yeah. Early 2000s were fun, right?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Very fun. So yeah, but my husband still to this day, he always tells me like, I love it when your hair is curly. Yeah. Like I love it when your hair is curly. And I'm like, I feel more like myself when my hair is curly. Yeah. You know, like in my most natural essence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that. I always say that the bigger the hair, the closer to God. Right?
Put that on a shirt. Put that next rollout of For the One merch.
Yes.
Coming your way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll help you design that.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have a merch store now. So
yeah, because you've got curly hair. Oh my
Girl,
God.
You want to do a collab?
It should be like a silhouette. One of those linear ones where it's like all lines and it's like your hair curly going down.
The bigger
Stay
the hair,
tuned.
the closer to God.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, I'm excited. No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
That would be
I'm
so
excited.
cute.
I'll have to cut you in on the
I'm
profits
here
for that
for
because
it.
that was your
I'm
idea.
here for it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's such a Texas thing to say too. It's like a Southern thing, you know? It is.
Are you
It's
from
like,
Texas?
No, not at all.
Okay,
Not at all.
okay.
But I did a class in Houston.
Oh, okay.
I taught a class out there, and I remember the ladies always saying that. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, the bigger the hair, the closer to God. You
Love
know?
that.
And I was like, well, I'm going to steal that
I'm
line.
just
I'm like, I'm just going to take that one home with me. So then when I would do my curly girls, I would always say, like, do you want your hair, like, defined or do you like it fluffed out? And then like, oh, I like it fluffed out. I'm like, oh, yeah, because the bigger the hair, the closer to God. And they're like, oh, yeah. They get a good laugh out of it. It's so cute.
Speaking of which, and we, like, as far into this as you want to go,
Yeah.
but what kind of was, because I know you just mentioned the 2018 catastrophe at the time.
Yes, yeah.
And you were like, that kind of was like a pushing of my faith because I was in a spot where I didn't really know where I was.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, what just kind of was your journey with that? I don't want to say take the business side out of it, but like even aside from the business journey, like how were you introduced to God? Was that young? Were you older?
Oh, yeah. I grew up in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
So my parents are Catholic.
Okay.
And we were born, raised, and baptized in the Catholic Church.
Gotcha.
When I was 18, I stepped away from the Catholic Church. I personal, felt like my faith journey was a forced implementation of faith versus a personal connection to faith.
Yes.
Not that I was aware of that personal connection factor at that time.
Right.
I just think I was in this phase of life where I was rebelling against anybody who was trying to tell me what to do, how to do it, right? I'm grown. I'm 18. I'm about to go live my best life, right? Like I got accepted into school and I was getting ready to go to college. I was like, I'm going to take a semester off. And then I got pregnant with my oldest son. Yes. So then after that, I really stepped away from the church, you know, because obviously in Catholic faith, you know, having a child out of wedlock is like a cardinal sin, you know, it's close to murder. You know what I mean? Like it's very extreme.
Yes.
So at that time, I went through, let's see, 18, 19, 20, 21. So by the time I was 21, I had my first son. When I was 18, I met my ex-husband while I was pregnant, and we got together and had my second son when I was 19. And then we were married, him and I. Yeah. And then by the time I was 21, we were separated and getting ready to go through an annulment. We didn't have to do a divorce because we didn't own any assets together, and I never changed my last name. So majority of all the things, it was easy to do.
Okay.
So then at that point, we started dibble-dabbling in like non-denominational churches. So I was feeling like a void, right? Those 4 years of my life were probably the darkest, probably the most shame for me surrounding those 4 years, right? With just everything. And that relationship dynamic was very difficult. Not a healthy time in my life. I did not make good choices either. I think, it was just a very different time, different person.
Yeah.
And a lot of that I attribute to the fact that I was like lost, right? Like I didn't really have a beacon of hope to hold on to. So that pit that I mentioned earlier, I was living at the bottom of it. You know, that was home for me. I was there. And I had 2 kids and I had this very toxic relationship with this man. I was easily influenced and manipulated, and it was not healthy, right? I was very young and naive and sheltered, right? I was religiously sheltered. So coming into the world thinking that I knew what to expect, and I didn't. So we tried some non-denominationals randomly, I would say, and I didn't really feel connected. Yeah. I've always enjoyed like praise and worship. That's always been something that like I've loved. And even that just it felt forced, you know, like I didn't really have it. And so then at this time, I'm 21 and I'm separated, and my current husband reaches out to me. And this is where it's kind of crazy. So 2 weeks prior, we had officially separated. The day that we separated, my ex-husband and I, right, is the same day that my husband started his Facebook account and messaged me on Facebook and said, I've been looking for you for 2 weeks. I'm so glad I found your profile. How have you been? Now, my husband and I went to high school together.
Okay.
And we were friends, very close friends. I will never let you live this down, Tyrell, but...
Oh, she's saying it on the podcast.
Yes, 100%. We are gonna ingrain this into history. I asked him to go to prom with me. Yes, because my husband is 4 days younger than me. Wow. I graduated at 17. He graduated at 18. So I was a senior and he was a junior.
Okay.
When we graduated high school, and we met just in my senior year because we did not go to school together all 4 years, just that year when I was a senior. But I had junior classes because I had gone to an all-girls school my freshman and sophomore year, and some of those theology classes do not transfer credits over to the public schools.
So you were in private school and then you went public. Okay.
Yeah. So my senior year, I was in. That's all. Again, there's a lot of stories here. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined.
Yeah.
But this is also just like kind of to preface that there is always your journey is predetermined, right? Even when you make mistakes, even when you falter, even when you're living in the pit,
it gets you back on that
100%. There is a cycle through, right? So he reaches out and he's like, oh, it's been 2 weeks since I've been looking for you on here. I just joined Facebook 2 weeks ago, da-da-da.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, how you been? And this, I distinctly remember this was a Tuesday. Because we exchanged numbers and we texted just as friends, like no interest of dating. And we had kept up with each other on MySpace, like over the years. And he knew I had kids and whatnot. And, he was like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, nothing. He's like, do you want to go see a movie? I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And then he pulls up and he picks me up and he's got this beautiful black Mountaineer. I'll never forget. It was like so shiny, so clean because he loves his cars. He keeps his cars, well, and then he gets out and he's this very attractive version of himself. I was like, oh, okay, howdy. So he comes up and we just end up hanging out, right? And immediately it was like a safety. Like I just felt so comfortable, and we would talk and we would talk and talk for hours. And he was just a very dear friend. For my 23rd birthday, his 23rd birthday, I should say, I actually tattooed his name on my left ankle, which he was like totally opposed to. He didn't know I was doing it. And I surprised him and he was so mad at me. And I told him, I said, this is not for you as in like relationship status.
Yeah.
I said, this is a reminder to me that you were the light that helped pull me from the darkness in my life.
Wow.
Yes.
Was he a believer?
100%. So my husband is the son of a pastor. And his sister invited me to go to church. And I looked at my husband the other day, and I was, while he was in the hospital and everything, and I said, how come you didn't invite me?
Where was my invite?
Yeah. I said,
it took your sister.
Yeah. I was like, why didn't you invite me to church, So then his sister had invited me to go, and I'll never forget, there was a song, and we might have to get the tissues. I may or may not cry for this one, but there was a song that day, the very first time I ever went, and it said, how does it go? He says, take me back, or no, I won't go back. I can't go back to the way I used to be before your presence changed me. Like that, like hit my soul, like hit my soul. Like I was sobbing. Just sobbing because I had felt so much shame, Yeah. And it just felt like I don't have to go there. I don't have to live in that. I don't have to be that version of myself. I don't have to be that person because I'm called to something more. I can be better. And it was like being picked up out of that pit and just like pulled. It was very powerful. So even though my husband got mad at me, and even though we weren't married at the time, right? It was a very real experience for me to say that, Tyrell played a huge role in reestablishing my center of faith. Right. So my in-laws come from what's called a primitive Baptist church. So they follow the King James version of the Bible.
Okay.
It doesn't deviate from that.
Gotcha.
Right. So it's very much so. That's kind of like where I reaffirmed my own faith journey and started studying the Word. You know, we would go to some of their Bible studies, and then essentially, you know, kind of allowed our children to make the decision for themselves when they felt like they would want to be baptized or walk their own faith walk. Right. I do believe that it's a beautiful thing to commit a child to Christ, but it's also a blind commitment. And I think that when you are saying that sheep will lead, you know, yes, the baby follows the parent, but the baby can also be the one that goes astray, right? And needs to decide to follow the shepherd on their own.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because they will eventually become their own sheep.
Yeah.
So like, yes,
on, Chelsea.
It is a very real thing to want to bring your child into the fold. But I think because that was how I was raised, there was this expectation that you were just going to follow suit. And the brain and the body does not work that way, right? Like we do not function like that. We are individual people that have our own ideas and thoughts and doubts and, you know, needs and all of these other things. And so sometimes it's like, it's just nice to know that you have the option.
Yeah.
So we chose to kind of, you know, present that. We do a thing called christening, where essentially it's like, you know, you're basically saying as parents, you are bringing this child into the world and you will do the best that you can to bring them up, you know, as a good Christian, you know, human being. And so we did do that with our daughter. She is the only one of my children that has not made the decision to be baptized at this point. Gotcha. My boys did get baptized when they were younger, which was nice. They made that choice on their own. I want to say they were like 8 or 9, 7 or 8, something like that. So, and they ended up doing it together. You know, it was very sweet. It was really, really nice. And, you know, even now, like, you know, we pray in the car. It was like our routine, you know, the kids and I on our way to school, we would say morning prayers, you know, and then we would like kind of say thanks for the things that we were grateful for. And then we would pray for the people that we knew maybe were going through things or needed a little extra love or whatever the case was, or if we knew something was happening, you know, that day at school, if there was a hard test or something along those lines. So we've always kind of indoctrinated this idea of just knowing that your faith is attained, like it's out there. You can reach it, you can touch it, you can grab it, you can hold on to it. You know, you can utilize it to settle you. You can utilize it to gather hope or to manifest courage or, you know, to step into something uncomfortable or to hold your head high in a moment of, you know, shame or just, you know, discomfort and, you know, and then the kids just kind of make that decision on their own. But for me, my husband was a huge part of why my faith is where it is now.
What a blessing.
And at the same time that was all happening, I was also starting my schooling for cosmetology. So in the midst of me being separated, we were homeless at that point. So it was me, my ex-husband, and my 2 boys. We had gotten kicked out of my parents' house because he had an alcohol abuse problem. And so my parents said no. They were not gonna entertain that. And so we slept in our car for like a week until I could get some funds together with like unemployment, because I was the breadwinner for our family at the time, seeing as how this man was not capable of doing those things. And he had burned so many bridges with friends and family of his own that we had nowhere to really go. And so then at that point we stayed at a hotel. Now, I'd already been kind of tired of being with him for about like a year at that point. And I was like, what am I doing? I can go back home. You know, I can go to my parents with my kids. Why am I making this decision? Why am I attaching myself to this leech of a human being who has no, you know, path forward, right? And I'm making this choice. And so then at that point, I made the decision to tell the school that I had already enrolled in schooling, but I had no way to get there and sustain and keep up. So I had asked for a leave. So they gave me leave for 3 months.
Wow.
And I established the separation from my ex. reconnected with Tyrell. And in the course of those 3 months, not me having not been in school and to be able to collect some unemployment from a previous bartending job I had, I was able to spend as much time with him as possible, reconnect with my faith, reestablish some strength within myself. And then, 8-9 months later, he and I ended up dating, and actually becoming a couple. Yeah. And then I graduated and he came to my graduation, right? Aww. My cosmetology graduation, and then has been a key catalyst in every single decision that has come up since then. It's crazy.
Okay, man of God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's really surreal. It's really, really surreal.
I don't ever want to speed past good men. Because I wish that they were more common than they are. Yeah. But like just public shout out to your
100%.
Husband for
Tyrell Holley.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that so much.
Yeah, I know. I was telling him that in lieu of everything that's been going on. Yeah. I've had a lot of time to reflect, over the last week or so and just kind of like look back on, our anniversary is tomorrow. Oh my
gosh. Yeah. And how many years did you
12 years married, 15 years together. Yeah, so it's kind of crazy. But I told him, I said, just in reflecting of that and thinking about our anniversary, like how we got connected, how my friends used to say, oh my God, you're glowing. You're so happy when you talk about him, all these little things. And I'd be like, oh my God, really? Like one of those, like, what? Stop, girl.
Yeah.
Am I? Like, you know what I mean? Just so young, so young.
Yes.
And I just think about like the maturity factor, the growth, the things that we've evolved in, and the ways that like, even when we've had rocky, difficult times, where it's been hard. Marriage was hard, like it took work and you thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to survive this. And how are we going to survive this? And what's going to happen? Yeah. You just dig deep and you realize that like you're rooted in something with this individual. And I told him, I said, we have to focus on being in more devotion with each other, and through like what that looks like for one another. I said, because I feel like that's always gotten us through. We've always been able to overcome. And I told him, I said, this situation that we've just experienced recently, I was like, that's really solidified for me the need to just like recenter myself with my husband and like kind of, reconnect and revisit like all these little moments of gratitude and support. And I was like, you've helped me start my business. You've helped me launch my suite. I was like, you supported me financially, my traveling, my educating, my trips. I would take trips and go to New York for a week and a half, or I'd be in Chicago for a weekend or, whatever the case was, whatever I was doing, for work, he was holding it down and he was telling me, go. So even in the essence of like the opportunities that were presented to me, yes, I said yes to them. Yeah. But if it wasn't for the support that I was getting from my husband and the foundation at home, 100%, saying yes wouldn't have been anything. I wouldn't have, if I had to take care of 3 kids, I wouldn't have been able to go if he wasn't able to like do. Yeah. So it's just really, it's all intertwined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's beautiful. To me, partial interpretation of what a husband should be doing is creating an environment for his wife to flourish.
I agree.
And if that isn't what like we're just exploring right now that has happened with you, I don't know what is. You know, it's like and again, is he perfect? Are you perfect?
Yeah, right.
No, things are hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to look past that, but like just to take a moment and be like,
So I said a lot of gratitude.
Yeah, he really just created an environment for you to be able to flourish.
Yeah.
Wow.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
I think in the areas where he's very quiet and reserved and, not as adventurous.
This makes sense.
I am.
This already makes sense.
Yeah. I pull him out. Yeah. I always like to say he keeps my feet on the ground and I take his head to the sky. You know what I mean? I allow him to fantasize about the things that maybe he wants to do, and then I try to manifest them. Yeah. And then he takes me out of my fantasies and he brings me back to reality sometimes because I get in there, I can be a little extra.
Yeah. He's like, come back.
Exactly.
Yeah.